federal election. Okay, we started hearing the rumblings of a federal election all year, but they started really to heat up in June as we broke for summer, and then we went to the polls in September. Was that the right call for Prime Minister Trudeau? What was gained, what was lost?
Well, I think you can say 2 seats were gained, so there is that.
2 seats were gained.
Whether that was or was not what he was expecting and the party was expecting, we will have to leave up to them, but it wouldn't seem to be if I were calling an election, which I'm not, so...
Well, I guess one of the pros for himself, for Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister Trudeau calling an election, is that he sort of reset the 2-year clock, because with a minority, 2 years is what you get. Majority, you get around 4 or 5.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of commentary on that 2-year mark, but this seems to be, from my understanding of it, it seems to be quite a durable-looking coalition. As long as he can keep the NDP more or less happy, and that should work. In cases where that doesn't, he can leverage a little bit of Quebec support and get the Bloc on side. So I'm not so sure if this is a strict 2-year mandate, but maybe the government will be tired after 2 years. Politics, I'm sure, is a tiring sport.
And how hard is it really for Prime Minister Trudeau to keep the NDP happy? So many times he seems to outflank the left.
Well, I don't know if necessarily the NDP say that, but that seems to be the way a lot of commentary is going as well.
Now, Aaron O'Toole, since the election, okay, so we saw Annamie Paul left as leader. Aaron O'Toole, there's a potential challenge for his leadership from the grassroots. Will it go anywhere? I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll see a replacement with Mr. Singh as head of the NDP. So we could see a lot of leaderships this year.
Wow, that would be a bold move for the NDP to get rid of one of their most popular leaders. So I don't know. But let's go back to the point. I think you're talking there a bit about grassroots and Annamie Paul. You're seeing 2 different party styles, if you will, of internal governance, right? And so on the Conservative side, they say they're grassroots and driven by the membership, and so these groups have power. And the Green side, the Federal Council had a lot of power and was seen to put up a lot of blocks against the leader at the time, Annamie Paul. Now, of course, what's interesting to me is I think about it is what does this mean for the power of caucus or individual MPs within their party? So that is my question.
Well, apparently not that much, considering C4, the conversion therapy ban bill, was passed with unanimous consent in the Senate and in the House, with not one MP speaking up and saying nay. So apparently it means nothing.
Well, unless everybody was more or less seized of the importance of, making sure that equal rights for all Canadians are upheld, if that was the understanding of the bill, then it proceeded to pass and with flying colors.
Well, apparently we've had some people tweet out now that, we regret voting that way. I said, well, to me, that's a little too late. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, right?
Woulda, shoulda, coulda, that's... Yeah.
Okay, another issue that I thought would feature more prominently in the federal election towards the tail end when this was sort of erupting was Afghanistan. But it didn't. And it was a huge thing for a while, and then now it's kind of gone by the wayside. What's happening in Afghanistan?
I mean, to me, Afghanistan is still one of the most tragic stories that we've had in Canadian recent history. Whether we should or shouldn't have gotten out of there isn't necessarily the question that I'm looking at. It's the manner in which we left so abruptly, so quickly. The U.S. left, and everybody else immediately also left, and the ANA, the Afghan National Army, did not hold out or resist as long as some analysts expected. Again, some did. Right. Some were suggesting it. Bill Roggio at Foundation for Defense of Democracy was long predicting that this was going to be something. But all that to say, I think that Afghanistan indicates something in 2021 of a bit of the decline of Western or belief in Western credibility.
Wow, yes. And do you think that is apropos with Joe Biden because Biden is the president?
No. I mean, if you look at it, the Trump administration did something very similar with the Kurds. They abandoned them, and the shelling and massacre in Afrin continued on with civilians there as well. So between that, then you have back to the COVID-19 vaccine rollout, you have Western countries basically pillaging or taking the lion's share of vaccines from that which was meant for developing countries through the COVAX initiative, or just hoarding them themselves, and we're getting boosters now. And the third thing, which I'll add quickly, is going to the COP conference and seeing how Western countries, despite saying climate change is a priority, did not really follow up with any bang for
Okay,
buck
well,
on that.
you're opening up a huge can of worms with COP because I have some strong feelings on that. But just hold that thought. We'll be right back after this commercial break.